Congratulations! You are working towards passing that final exam for you to complete the licensing course, or you are working towards passing that PSI exam. In this video, I'm going to go through the topic that produces the third most questions on that real estate exam. All the best. We continue our series in breaking down the exam topics for the PSI Real Estate Exam. This is video number 3. Go back and review the one we've already done for the ones that produce the most topics. We've done contracts, and the next topic is agency, which is a tie to this topic, which is practice of real estate. Positive mindset. Dear friend, my dear friend, clear your mind of cannot. Thanks to Samuel Jackson. Let's go in saying you have already passed. I want to hear your story and your journey in the comments. If I helped you in any way to pass that real estate exam, I look forward to seeing you in our continuing education classes. How many questions do you get? For those of us who are going to be working on the Salesperson exam, you're going to be exposed to 80 questions, multiple choice. Out of that 80, 10 of them are going to be on this particular topic. Those of us who are working on passing the broker exam, some states this individual is referenced to as a principal manager or managing broker. This individual in Maryland has completed 135 hours and has been licensed for 3 years. They're exposed to 75 questions. 9 of them are going to be in the topic of practice of real estate. There are 4 subtopics in this particular topic of practice of real estate: anti-discrimination, legislation and regulations, duties and responsibilities, and the last one is only those of us who are going to be taking the broker exam, your supervisory, whichever way you want to say that, responsibilities over the people that are affiliated with you and you are the broker. We start with the first one, anti-discrimination. A lot to do with fair housing here. We're definitely going to go through Federal Fair Housing Act, the general principles. There are exemptions. The protected classes under the Federal Fair Housing Act, there's 7 of them. We do have a video that can help you review that particular topic. We get into, let's make sure that people pick where they want to live and the real estate agent is not influencing that particular decision. So protection against discrimination based on gender identity and sexual orientation. Now here, the federal protected categories are 7: race, color, religion, national origin, familial status, sex, and disability. Gender identity and sexual orientation shows up as additional protected categories in some of other states. Maryland is a great example. For those of us who are members of the National Association of Realtors, or my friend, when you pass the real estate exam and you become a member of that organization, their code of ethics does have gender identity already included in their code of ethics and sexual orientation that we would need to abide with. Prohibited conduct under federal fair housing. Here, definitions. Once again, you'll check out that video that goes into what is blockbusting, what is considered as steering, and what is it that we need to pay attention to that it doesn't lead to disparate treatment. Fair housing advertising rules. How does this apply? Remember, the topic is practice of real estate. When we're out there telling people, hey, come and check me out, hire me to represent you in my advertising, I need to make sure that I am not limiting certain individuals from accessing the product that I am offering or the service. So making sure that we follow fair housing advertising rules. One of the protected categories is disability, and therefore we also need to make sure that we pay attention to the Americans with Disabilities Act. The next topic is legislation and regulations. What are we discussing here? I am the real estate salesperson or agent or professional that is going to get hired by you, the public. And when you hire me, I need to make sure that I'm looking out for your best interest. Part of that is making sure that I know the rules and or regulations that do exist that you do need to be aware of, and I am also following those rules. So what is covered here? When I'm hired by a broker or when I decide to affiliate with a broker, there's going to be some companies where I am going to be functioning as an independent contractor, and some companies you might function as an employee. What's the difference? And then we get into, even if I am an employee or an independent contractor, the broker is still supervising what I do. Antitrust laws, the violations, the fines when somebody violates those laws, and the penalties. Here we're talking about brokers coming together and potentially creating a monopoly and reducing competition. Guess what? We have a video that can help you expand on that topic. We get into the 4 types of violations, which include price fixing, group boycotting, tying agreements, and allocation of customers and markets. The regulations and legislation that we need to follow when I am advertising is I might be calling people to share what services that I am able to perform on their behalf. And therefore, if I'm calling individuals, I do need to pay attention to the do not call list rules. In addition to that, if I'm going to send them a text message, I need to make sure that I follow the TCPA. If I'm going to advertise online, social media, what is the proper use? Most of the times I can say you definitely do need to disclose which company or brokerage you are affiliated with. The third subtopic is duties and responsibilities. Here you will see a blend or a bleed into from the agency topic where we have this relationship that has been created by what I'm doing or with a written agreement, what is my responsibility as I am looking out for my client's interest. So what is covered under duties and responsibilities? I am going to be obtaining some confidential information. I need to make sure that I do not disclose that, whether it is written, verbal, electronic. Here we might get into state-specific laws, how long someone is supposed to keep documents, duties when handling money from other individuals in a transaction. So we're talking about when the broker is holding the money or it's an escrow title company, making sure that they get that money, it is accounted for, and when it doesn't clear, that we are disclosing that to the other side. Here we're talking about material facts. And then when it comes to brokers holding the money or the title company, as an example, then we need to remember those 2 words, commingling and or conversion. Licensee responsibility of due diligence in real estate transactions. So at bare minimum, I am a professional. I need to do my homework and know the transaction that I am involved in. The last one is segmented for those of us who are going to be brokers. You're going to be supervising others. So what is your responsibility? We get into Your responsibility as a broker, supervision over the licensees that are under your brokerage or affiliated with you. They might come together and create a group or a team. You're still supervising that. You're also going to make sure that you give instructions when these individuals affiliated with you decide to get help from individuals who are better at that particular topic. They might not be licensed, making sure that they still abide by the rules. And then employees who might be running this particular company or office, the broker is offering supervision over these individuals. The relationship that is created between the licensee, whether it is employees or they're going to be independent contractors. Here, ironing out when you're independent contractor, your broker still has supervision over what to do. Independent contractors is where we're talking about for tax purposes. So let's review some questions. We're going to review 2 questions to kind of give you some practice as to questions you might experience when you go take the real estate exam. Definitely comment and see whether us offering questions does help you. And always, I will ask for your feedback into how it influenced or impacted you passing that real estate exam. Put it in the comments. When we go through the questions, definitely pause. Go read it yourself. You can go through process of elimination. I will definitely give you the answer and why. Question 1. Antitrust laws prohibit competing brokers from all of the following except 1. Boycotting other brokers in the marketplace. Receiving compensation from both the buyer and the seller. Agreeing to set sales commissions and management rights. Dividing the market to restrict competition. Here's your moment to pause. Let's review antitrust laws. The antitrust laws exist to encourage competition. We don't want a monopoly. So let's go through process of elimination. There are 4 under this particular category of the Sherman antitrust laws. You have price fixing, which is number 3. So here the question is, which one is not under antitrust laws? Which one is not violating the antitrust laws? Number 3 is price fixing. Brokers coming together, setting the prices, or even making it seem to the public as if we have set prices. This is what we are experiencing for those of us who are members of the National Association of Realtors. So that is against price fixing. Number 3 is out. Number 1 has one of the other antitrust laws, which is boycotting. We cannot do that as brokers coming together and eliminating a competitor. So we've eliminated 1 and 3. We also eliminate number 4, because that we cannot do. A broker can decide to do business in any market, leaving us with the answer being number 2. There's nothing against that right now where the broker can get compensated from both the buyer and the seller. In our state in Maryland, that's an example of where we call the broker is a dual agent. In our state in Maryland, the broker is not going to have an agreement with the buyer or the seller directly. They're 2 individuals. One is working for the buyer, one is working for the seller, and the broker is a dual agent. So the broker will get compensated from these clients because the buyer and the seller hire the company. But the people who are involved in the transaction are 2 different individuals. Dual agency might look different in your state. This helps with explaining number 2. Compensation can be paid by anyone. It doesn't mean whomever pays me is the one that I have an agreement with. That's the beauty of real estate. Question number 2. This is the long one. A broker represents a group of investors who purchase single-family residence when they find them at low prices. Their offers are typically made with a $500 deposit, and they will buy it cash, and they will settle 7 days from the acceptance of the offers. When the last property closed, the investor suggested to the broker to keep the deposit money that's going to be used in their next purchase. As yet not identified. What must the broker do with these deposit funds? Return to the purchasers, deposit to their escrow account, deposit to their rental trust account, hold the funds in their personal account until needed. So let's go through the question. Here the investors have presented a $500 deposit to the broker for a future purchase. No one can guarantee that these investors are going to purchase it. Yes, they've been doing it, but it's not a guarantee. It's a hope that they will from the broker perspective. So the broker needs to return it to the purchaser. The deposit has to be collected and used for what it's intended for. So it will be used when they get the property. That's when the broker is going to collect the money and put it in an escrow account that is separate from all of the other accounts. So number 2 is what some of us might have picked. However, they haven't picked a property yet. That's where we eliminate number 2. For those of us who might maybe have selected 3, they can't put it in a rental trust account. Here, these investors are purchasing. 4, hold the funds in the broker's personal account is what we call it. It's now going to what? Commingle and mix with the broker's personal account money. And then 2, it was converted into something else, not what it was intended for. So the answer is number 1, return it to the purchasers. I hope you did well. If not, this is a moment for you to continue reviewing. Check out all the other videos that we have available on our YouTube channel. Share it. Pass the Maryland Real Estate Exam. To obtain the entire copy of the breakdown of the 11 topics generated for the PSI Real Estate Exam, go to our website, trainingwithbrenda.com, or you will find it in the description. Until next time, take care.